Hi, this is Zach here with the US Chartbreakers here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Wednesday, the 15th of October. Starting off with the S&P, which didn't, well, it sort of had a tumble last week, but didn't have the crash. We stayed within the rising trend channel from April, and we've stayed largely, in fact, we've stayed wholly above the 50-day moving average, which is quite impressive in the sense that any market stock that has a rug pull and still remains above the 50-day line is actually a show of strength, tends to be a leading indicator on the upside. See if that general rule works, but we've got to break the basically the 66.80 area on an end of day close basis to open up a return, or at least a journey up towards the top of the channel there. 6,900 by the end of next month. If we do break down below the 50-day line, then I suppose you could say that the old resistance from August around 64.90, the first port of call, and then after that, the August support, August September support around 63.50 would be the current worst case scenario target that we have for this market. But ideally, we stay within the channel and we stay at or above that 50-day moving average at 65.44. The Nasdaq 100 is next, and here the picture is that we've had a similar rug pull to that of the S&P, but staying above the floor of the channel and staying above the 50-day line there at 24,000. Also stayed above 24,000, which is quite an achievement. In fact, we basically just retested the late September support there around 24,200. So that is a strong market. Top of the channel there from April, heading 25,500, best case by the end of next month. 26,300, which may be more likely now, given that we've had a failed rug pull for this market. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with Aqua Metals, which I think we've looked at before. As you can see, we're on the third target area now, the old resistance there, one-year resistance towards the $33 mark, and we'll see whether we can head up to that in coming days. We should be able to do that given how strong the space is at the moment. And obviously, we've already done that, at least temporarily. On the downside, ideally, we stay above recent, well, at least the initial 2025 resistance around $27 on an end of day close basis. The right market, American resources. Here you can see that we've shot up through a rising trend channel there from back in April. Top of the channel there, heading for $10. That's what we're looking for as soon as the end of this month, especially while we remain above recent resistance, recent broken resistance from earlier in the week around the $5.20 mark. So we're above that, looking for $10 over the near term. You can see the RSI multiple support points there above neutral 50, and that did foretell the move to the upside. Requested stock next in the form of BitMine, and here obviously you've had issues with the last week's rug pull in the cryptos, but at least we've maintained the rising trend channel here and also stayed above the 50-day moving average, just around the $52 mark. While we're doing that, we are still hoping for a best case scenario target, perhaps by the end of the year, if we get really lucky towards $95, but at least to the top of the range, back up to $65 or so, which is basically post-August resistance for this market. So, right side of 50, basically, up to 65 on BitMine. One of the best situations of recent past here has been Electra battery, and you can see that we had our best case scenario target there towards towards the $3 level, and the shares more than double that at the start of the week. Come back a bit, but within the ranges of Monday, and at least while we're on the right side of $4, could have a retest of the best levels for that situation. Well, stock on the front foot at the moment is Everbright, or trying to be on the front foot. Here we've had the massive gap to the downside in July. Gap higher attempt, but that failed the second time lucky maybe to try and at least retest the $1.58 or $1.60 zone peak that we had last month. While we're on the right side of the 90 cents area, that was resistance on the way down. Another requested situation is Nexxen. And here we've had a bit of a bear trap rebound, or at least a bear trap below the $9 area. Really need to see this market back above that resistance line there from back in April. That's running around the $9.35 level, near to the 50-day moving average as well. So basically, the sub 950 area needs to be conquered. Otherwise, we may have more of a drift. And also, you could argue that that line there, which was broken, also in the same sort of zone, needs to be captured. RSI needs to be above the neutral 50 level as well. So a little bit of work there to go on that one. We might need a bit more, one or two more days of price action on the right side of $9 to get Nexxen back in its stride. Moving along to a situation which I don't think we looked at before, but hopefully will deliver the goods. The situation is another requested stock, a supermicro computer. Here you can see that we've got a rising trend channel which has been in place since the this time last year. Top of the channel, they're heading for the $67 area. We're looking at that while we remain above the initial October support there towards $50, above 50, looking towards 67 or 68 on super microcomputer, perhaps by the end of next month. The only thing that's concerning here is that we filled the gap there and then came back down. So we really need to establish new support and move higher quite soon. On to Stardust Power, and here we've got a situation where trying to build from the lows and doing quite well, rising trend channel base there, rising 50-day line and recent resistance through $6.20 broken above that, looking at the top of the channel as $10.25 by the end of this month. Finishing off with SS, and here you can see that we're breaking the 200-day line. Hopefully we'll do better than we did back in June. 200-day line there, just around the $9 level. Above that, looking for $14 by the end of next month. Ideally, there's no breakback below recent broken resistance at $7.70. You can also see that we've had three RSI 50 plus rebounds there, so this looks like a big move is in the offing, and obviously $14 would fit the bill. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.